So, Your Excellency, would you be towing the party line as well and say my party has said we're not looking at it, or would you
a lot of that,
the fact that you're a lawyer as well?
A lot of that and beyond. First, and I issued a press statement, and I will try and summarize what my thoughts were. First, it started out as a conference. Somehow it became inelegant to discuss a conference, so it assumed the nature of a dialogue for reasons which I am unclear about, and it did not state whether it was a conference towards writing a new constitution or not. And those are the inception reports that came out. And it was in that context that I said, okay, let us make some assumptions. If we want to write a new constitution, really, why are we doing so? If we are listening to what our people are saying, and we think that that approximates to a demand for a new constitution, perhaps we should stand back and look again. Do the people want a better document or a better life? In my view, what they want is a better life.
Exactly.
And therefore, a better life approximates to electricity, roads, water, food, healthcare. You don't need to discuss how to build roads. The contractors are there, find the money and give it to them. You don't need to discuss how to generate power. GE, Mitsubishi, and all of them are there. They can build it. Develop a plan. You don't need to discuss how to plant maize and yam. It just needs rigorous agricultural programs and go and implement it. Of course, there are security issues, and perhaps maybe discussions may help along those lines. I'm willing to make that concession. But truth be told, when people begin to get prosperous, the body of science out there is that they get less violent, because they begin to look at how to keep their prosperity. And therefore, there will be some sense of calming down. And those are my views. And I said to the committee when they visited me, I said, look, there's a lot of work that has been done. There was a conference of this nature in 2006. As Chief of Staff in Governor Tinubu's office, then I coordinated the representation from Lagos State. And I had a copy of the report. Fortunately, the chairman of this current committee, Senator Kurumu, was a member representing Afenifere. And I said to him, do you have the report? He said, yes. I said, it's important because there were things that we agreed upon. And why don't we start and show good faith? If truly this is the way Nigerians want to, let us implement the things that have been agreed. Because I've studied the history of the evolution of the American Constitution. It was not an easy thing to achieve. There were very bitter truths, there was acrimony, and perhaps those who say this is not the time refer to that, because when we open this honestness, really, there are things that are better left dealt with at a much more auspicious occasion than now. And those are my thoughts. Let's go and implement that 2006 report on those things that have been agreed. And let us see how that helps to move our people towards a better life. Perhaps it will bring credibility back to the process. But we have talked for too long. And as I say, in some respects, our people are tired of eating diets of broken promises.
Diets of broken promises. On that note, we will have to wrap up. But just as we're going, I will not be able to wrap up without asking you, Your Excellency. You're preparing for election. It's next after Anambra. What's your word on that one? What's the preparation like?
Well, the preparation is to serve the people. I have at least a year to go in doing that. So I'm focused on that as I'm focused on preparing for election. Once the people are satisfied, I'm reasonably confident that they will do the right thing. But there are also institutional impediments. I'm watching Anambra, even as I'm here in Sokoto, with very keen eyes. I am monitoring what is going on. I heard what you just said about the Demile North and ballot papers not getting there. Incidentally, Demile happens to be one of the strongholds of our party in Anambra State, and Edo seems to be repeating itself again. So I'm concerned slightly. I don't have the details, but from what I just, what your reporter said, it's a bit worrisome that is creeping in again. And I hope INEC would do the right thing by ensuring that there's a level playing field and ballot papers get everywhere in good time, and that there is absence of all of these impediments
When some
that we
people
have.
say that there might be a little bit of unrest in Ekiti State because of preparation for election, do you subject to that idea, or you don't see any of that?
Of course I don't see any of that. For 3 years, Ekiti has been known for peace, for tranquility. And don't forget the history. For 7.5 years before I became governor, Ekiti was the place of 1 week, 1 trouble. A state that had 6 governors in 7 years. So you now know what has happened in the last 3 years that I've been in office. So I don't envisage such. It's a contestation of ideas. Let's go to the marketplace of ideas. Come and tell Ekiti people what you're going to do better than what Governor Fayemi has done. Which areas are you going to really make a fundamental difference in their lives? Machetes and guns. It's about ideas and policies and programs. That for me is what should determine what happens, and that is what will determine what happens.
Well, we want to say thank you very much for the eminently qualified governors who have been part of this program this morning. And on this occasion, I'll start with Dr. Fayemi, the governor of Ekiti State. Thank you very much for being on Sunrise this morning.
It's really wonderful to be here, particularly to be here with my class captain as well.
Your class captain, which school was this?
Oh, well, even in the club of governors, there is ranking.
All right. Your Excellency, thank you very much for coming. Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
Thank you for having me.
We hope we'll have you again when we're back home with you.
With pleasure.
Great. That's very good. Thank you very much.